Hello again, this is Tarik Rashid. This is a class for research methodology. We talk about literature, research, and review. Class 3, as I said. And this class actually, it's a bit longer than the two classes that we have, but I go a bit faster. But then everything is there. You can pause the video and read it and do it in your own pace. Definition of archival literature. Well, archival literature, the main purpose of this archival literature is to have a body of published scientific and engineering knowledge so that permanently stored for you and you can use it for future use. So it means that these are includes books, papers, and other publications stored physically or digitally. Now, the information archival literature is stored in a way that cannot be altered once published. So any archival work or research work cannot be altered. This is completely contrasts with some normal online publications that can be modified after initial publication online. So here, that's the knowledge of the archival literature. Now, archival literature, why do we use them? Well, we use them because these are considered to be review existing knowledge, information, research work. This is kind of prior to contributing to knowledge research. We can also rely on this type of archival literature in research because we need to build upon existing work. We can always use this one as an extension to this is current, and we can extend it to add new or what's already available. We can also rely on this archival literature because we want to contribute to knowledge base. So researchers must publish their findings in the same way. So once you publish your work, it'll be kind of archival literature for the future generation. Now, here, in this diagram, I talk about the peer review process in brief. So here the scientist or yourself carry out some research work. You try to write your results and conclude it, send it to the publisher and editor who is going to receive your work. And then the editor, if he's happy, he can send it to, he can comment on it, send it back to you, or he can directly reject it. Or you would have an option, if you are lucky and things are okay, can be sent to reviewers from different domains, but they work at the same specific field of yours. So they review the work and they check it, and they will see the validity of this research work, and they provide you with feedback oftentimes. And oftentimes the feedback will be sent to the editor, and editor will send it back to you, and then you revise it and send it back again. It's either accepted or rejected. So distinction between acceptable and unacceptable literature. Peer-reviewed work, these are acceptable and reliable because they were seen and they were tested for their validity by the peer-reviewed experts in the field. Novice researchers should learn to distinguish between reputable peer-reviewed sources and publications that may not meet these standards. Here, the archival literature is intended to serve future generations. Once you published your work, it becomes an archival literature so that people can use it in the future. Now, here, ethical concerns about research and publication. Research should have honesty and integrity, should protect human subject, and should also should also protect or cares for animal subjects, responsible publications, confidentiality about data or the participants, respecting copyrights. Like you can't take a piece of information or things are intellectual property or intellectual capitals. You cannot use them and you cannot refer them to yourself. Now, objectivity research should be agreed by scientific committee and experts. So we should have objectivity about or agreement about the research work. Now, these are today's information about ethics. So ethics for engineers are very important. Any decision in engineering that can be made should be based on factual, academic, and scientific models, free from political and social pressure. Incentive for ethical behavior, trust, reputation will gain, because if you conduct ethical procedure, then engineers will get trust and confidence, and they will be reliable. Engineers also are responsible for reporting unethical behavior, and sometimes reporting unethical behavior will put these engineers at risks to their career. Consequences of unethical behavior could be plagiarism. You can take a part of somebody can take a part of some other people. This is a plagiarism. Copyright infringement. So you might lose your credibility. You might get penalty. You might expelled from the university. So if an engineer copies design without validating them, again, this is also a problem. You cannot use something, or you cannot provide a product without verifying it and validating it through the standard specification of engineering. There are some research that you publish, and down the road in the future, they might be exposed to some errors, or they might be exposed to some experts. They can find errors in them. So we can review, or you can review your work and inform the publisher with the correct versions of the mistakes or errors that happen. Now, ethical guidelines for publication, citing sources. Why do we cite? Well, first reason to cite is to give credit to the person who does the work, and also it gains trust and reliability of your work, that you have used standard procedures, specific standard procedures, and you followed a right scientific procedure to produce your work. Also, when you credit a researcher, when you provide credits or you cite someone, you are trying to motivate that person to work and produce more work, more research work, and contribute to research. Now, if we do not cite him, then a person can be demotivated because you are using his work, but you do not cite his work. So the person will be demotivated, will not be encouraged to produce further research work. So these are the, and also if you are not sure in any area or aspect in your work, then you should refer back to consultants or experts in that area, so that you will be able, or they make you able to address weaknesses that you have not certain about some of the aspects of the design. Now, copyright responsibility, there should be declaration before publishing your work that this uh, uh, work and you transfer the ownership of the article to the publisher. The publisher will have a right to the contents of the article that you are going to publish. Now, if there are mistakes, as I say, you can always refer to the editor to provide a correction, and you are allowed to send the correction, and the correction either will be published in the corrected version of the manuscript or the paper, or it might be in a smaller version of the paper. Now, there's also some types of ethical problems: data manipulation. You play with the data, or you fake the data, or you are manipulating the data, or duplicate publication, recycling work that's not allowed. Sometimes you add guest or gift authors, and they are not contributing enough or adequately to the research work. So stay away from this. Also, sometimes we researchers, we have to avoid to submit simultaneous submissions. So one submission, you send it, you try to send it to different publishers at the same time. Plagiarism, taking some part from some research work and you using it for yourself, that's not allowed. Salami slicing, this is a phenomenon whereby a researcher divides the whole research work that he conducted and divides into pieces or slices and publish them separately at different places. But it shouldn't be in that way. The whole research work, one particular researcher, should be published with one publisher, not you dividing it so that you increase the number of publications. But still, there is only one idea, one core aspect that you conducted research. Now, writing is one of the most important steps in research work. We can always be influenced by the greatest scientists that were conducted research before us, and we can refer to their work and we can build on their knowledge. Again, engaging with published work, all scientific engineering research builds on previous work. We mentioned this point. And some research work done in the past, they might not be, or we might discover some invalid parts in those research. That's normal in research work. Peer-reviewed and types of publication, credible of sources. Peer-reviewed sources are very credible because it has gone through, research has gone through different experts and they checked it. Types of publication could be journal papers, could be conference papers, books, web articles. Web articles, they may lack rigorous peer-reviewed process and we should be a bit cautious about it. Here, there are some valid and invalid things or items for those type of publication: journal, conference, books, standards. And you can see archival scientific literature, it's valid, evidence of peer review valid, author's name valid, books, and you can see evidence of peer review maybe in the books is not valid. Here it tells you. So I want you to go through this table and check it for yourself and read it. Good information. Here we have importance of referred journals, peer-reviewed journals. It has to take at least some journals will take 2 to 3 years to be published, and some journals will take 1 year. So make sure that the paper that you are going to send, it cannot be published overnight or in 1 week. So this is a kind of dangerous or looks dodgy. Again, the process of publication and getting accepted paper, it is very tough, and it has become very tough. So, and you can see this guy tries to get through all these steps, but then a lot of danger thresholds are there for him. So it is difficult. Now, review process and reviewer selection, editor, they will select thoughtfully and carefully reviewers because reviewers are volunteered people. They will be selected based on the specificity of the subject related to your area. Now, peer review, we have double blind peer review, we have single blind peer review, double blind peer review. You know, authors do not know reviewers who are going to review a paper, and also reviewers do not know the authors. Now, single blind peer review, it means that author does not know peer review reviewers, but the reviewers, they know the authors. Again, these two types. There's also peer review and author can be known to each other. This all depends on the journal's policy. Here we have, when you send a submission, we talked about it, goes to chief editor, can reject it straight away or can give you some comment. It goes to, if it's accepted and successful, it goes to peer-reviewed people. Peer-reviewed people, they will peer review, they will send feedback to chief editor, and chief editor will send it to author to revise it, and revise period or revise times could be more than one time, revise 1, revise 2, revise 3, depends on how peer reviewers, they look at the paper, and it might be accepted, hopefully at the end, or rejected, and then you try to correct it and submit it to another publisher. So these are the outcomes. It could be accepted without change. This is a very rare case. Resubmit with minor correction. This is a good case. Resubmit with major changes. This is 50% that you might go through publication. Reject due to errors and flawed methodology, or reject because it's out of domain and scope of the journal or publisher. Response to the reviewers should be within time frame. Editor review, again, they will check it for the clarity and language. Journal publication format, you should follow the format, page numbers, template, issue. Review, there are regular papers and special issue papers. Regular papers are a bit difficult. Special issue papers, these are special issue sections that can be introduced by guest editors, and then they introduce some subjects, and then you can, and these subjects are interest of you, then you can submit your paper through them. Structure of the article could be journal title, paper title, author information, abstract, and keywords, and we talk about this one in detail in the next classes. Now, again, check for dates and priority when you submit your revisions, because it's not open. It can be open for 1 month, or you can ask for extension, but it's not open forever. So make sure that you submit within the time frame that was planned for you. Again, novelty and originality should be checked. Sometimes paper can be published, and after publication, authors can find mistakes or equations or references or figure problem. It wasn't detected by reviewers, and it wasn't detected by authors during writing the paper and during submission and after submission. But then after publication, it was found that there is a problem. Then you should contact editor to send a correct version. This is good for your work, and it can be accepted by, it can send back to editors, associate editors, reviewers, so that they can see it. Magazines are less reliable because they are not peer-reviewed. Some of them, I couldn't consider all of them. So there should be a caution here. Now, there are letters, short papers that can be, that can use letters to publish, or short communication. If you have a new idea, but you don't have time, then you send the insight of the research work, new idea in 2 pages, send it to chief editor. It can be accepted, and then later on you can provide the full detail of the paper. Now, comments, some people, they can make comments on your paper or some ideas. They can also be published. Errata, errors, that can be found and then that can be corrected later. These are short papers, notes even. But the good thing about short paper is that it's a yes or no decision, and it goes through most of the time through the chief editor will decide about this one. It cannot be sent to peer review experts. So this one will be done within the editorial office, and usually chief editor will invite some well-known authors to provide letters. Again, we talked about this one. We talked about comments. We talked about short communication. If you have a new idea, new discovery, then you send it quickly. Errata, again, errata notice published to correct error found in previous published work. Notes are brief reports or observation on specific aspects of research, methodology, or phenomena. They are often used to share updates, small discoveries, or technical improvement, and do not typically require a full research or paper format. Now, this is one type of a rebuttal letter. This is a correction or comments made on the paper, and the authors had chance to provide a feedback. The feedback was published, and also the comments that were made on the paper also. So something, a blessing in disguise. Somebody comments on your paper, will get publication from the publisher, and also you have a chance to reply to this comment or to correct the version. Again, you would have a chance for another publication through a letter. Speed of publications always, this is very important, you know, faster publication, not good, because then it could be a sign of not authentic. Now, conferences are less headache because they have to be published within a short period. You would have most of the time 1 month notification to get accepted, or can be extended to 6 month notification. So you would have a chance to either present your paper as a poster or as a paper presentation in seminar. So speed of conference faster than journals. Journals take more time. And limitation of conference publication are often not as rigorously assessed as journal papers. They are not as rigorously assessed or evaluated as journal papers. The format could be in that way. You can go through it. And also, there's also international standard book number for conferences. preceding conference. Your paper will be in that proceeding. There should be ISBN number for it, and ISS number, International Standard Serial Number for journals or magazines. Some magazines also could have that number. Book, there are 3 types of book: textbooks for student, undergraduate, or master's level. Research book could be monograph, mainly research book. The purpose of research book for researchers and scholars to get information. And also there's a reference book, which kind of will give you idea. These reference books typically contain alphabetical ordered index of terms and may include words such as dictionary, encyclopedia, and reference. When you reference and you put those information on it. Referencing books in scientific paper also, there's also another type of publication called standards, which are documents that define specific experimental techniques or requirement specification within the engineering profession. They also provide well-accepted and clear definitions of engineering terms. These are could be a good example: International Organization for Standards, ISO, one example of standards, and most standards are published with ISBN, International Standard Book Number. So these are, there's also another IEEE standard associations or associates. Importance of using the standard, also very good for engineers to use it. Now I'm done with this class and I have used these type of references. I hope I can see you in the next class. Stay tuned. Thank you very much.